brown sky be crystal bliss. Gifts wrapped tight, can't wait for this. Joy in the air, feel the holy kiss. God's love spreading wide, can't miss. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Blessings came true.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Love for me and you.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Hearts renewed.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Here's what we do.
Jesus in the manger, story old as time, spreading love and hope, truly divine. Holy Spirit whispers, faith sublime, gospel in rhythm, hearts align. Lights all twinkling, joy in the choir, souls all lifting, take me higher. Gifts from above never expire, God love bright, eternal fire. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Blessings came true.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Love for me and you.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Hearts renewed.
It's Merry, Merry Christmas.
It's what we do.
Soul food cooking, smell the delight. Family gathered, feel so right. Hug tight, never out of sight. Love overflowing, pure and Snow on the ground, sky be crystal bliss. Gifts wrapped tight, can't wait for this. Joy in the air, feel the holy kiss. God's love spreading wide, can't miss. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Blessings came true.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Love for me and you.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Hearts renewed.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Here's what we do.
Jesus in the manger, story old as time, spreading love and hope, truly divine. Holy Spirit whispers, faith sublime, gospel in rhythm, hearts align. Lights all twinkling, joy in the choir, souls all lifting, take me higher. Gifts from above never expire, God love bright, eternal fire. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Blessings came true.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Love for me and you.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Hearts renewed.
It's Merry, Merry Christmas.
It's what we do.
Soul food cooking, smell the delight. Family gathered, feel so right. Hug tight, never out of sight. Love overflowing, pure and bright.
What's going on? We back in this thing. I'm telling you, man. Merry Christmas, belated Christmas, whatever you want to call it. That man PC going crazy. I'm telling you, man. No, but it's still about to rest everybody. And Shedeur gonna bring the thing home. Then they're gonna start complaining about how the Steelers rested everybody, and Shedeur just beat them and won when nobody playing. That's what gotta happen. Because the Ravens about to lose to the Green Bay. And then Steelers gonna win the division, and they ain't even gonna have nothing to play for. So they probably gonna rest Aaron Rodgers to get ready for the playoff. I mean, that's the biggest scenario. Can y'all hear me? Well, fire, Curtis. Appreciate you. Fanning is out Sunday. They said he might be out. I just watched Kevin Stefanski let they put it out. I just watched the interview. I just literally just watched.
About this.
But nah, man. Yeah, I did that giveaway on Sunday. And I think your name was the first one. But you weren't here. Ken, I think your name was the first one. But you weren't here. I'm back. You know, the Brown rested everyone too. Nah, the Steelers might be resting. My wife bought me a jersey. Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, man, Roberts, you missed it too. That was Sunday night. What that lady name? Changes. It should have been already delivered. 420. But yeah, changes in my life. There it is, right now. That should go right here. Can't think of a name. But yeah, there it is right now. But yeah, man, these folk up here want to hate on Shedeur. But then, the top 5 things you didn't know. The top 5 things you didn't know about Shedeur Sanders. This ain't for y'all now. These for the haters and the trolls. Let me get that corrected now. This stuff y'all know, but the haters and the trolls don't know. So I gotta introduce it to them. Cause when Shedeur PC set the Steelers on fire, they gotta know. Number one, he run his career like a CEO. Shedeur isn't just a quarterback, he's business minded. He studies contracts, branding, NIL strategy, and ownership principles early. That's why people say he plays chess while others plays checkers. Why it matter? He building equity, not just highlights. I wonder where that came from. But we already know Coach Prime done taught him the game and how to manage his money. Because Coach Prime is cheap. Coach Prime told him, I ain't with that foolishness. Y'all ain't about to get everything y'all want just because I got money. This my money. You need to go make your own. So I don't even, he entitled. He did. No, he done made a brand, a legendary brand that made him $20 million before he got signed to an NFL team, before he even got drafted. That prime equity, man. That's NIL. That's name. That's branding. That's working with your brand, maximizing your brand. That's what that is. Trolls. Number 2, you were trained to read defenses like a pro as a team. Mary Kay, where you at? He was trained to read defenses like a pro as a team. While most high school quarterback folks on arm strength Shedeur were breaking down NFL level defensive schemes with Coach Prime. He mastered protection calls, coverage recognition, and pre-snap reads years ahead of schedule. Translated, his calm under pressure isn't luck, it's conditioning. It's conditioning. Now, I need to find that Kirk Cousins clip I had. I ain't never played it, but I'm going to have to find it. 3, his watch collection is part of his brand strategy. Those luxury watches aren't flexes. They're symbolic time, ownership, patience, legacy. Every piece reinforces the message. Total control. Control time. Don't chase it. Risk up. 4, he absorbs the pressure that would have broken most quarterbacks. Playing under DIDN Sanders means 24/7 scrutiny. Media narratives, haters, unfair comparisons. Shedeur learned to thrive in chaos early. That's why NFL pressure doesn't rattle him. He's already lived in it. You being Coach Prime's son, DIDN Sanders' son, one of the greatest players to ever play in the NFL, and probably the greatest player to ever play in his position. Then you change position, and you his son. Then he your coach. Then y'all go from an HBCU to Colorado. You went from a black school to a white school and turned both of them around. They don't like that. He's quietly one of the most resilient quarterbacks of his generation. Behind the confidence is a quarterback who took brutal hits, played through pain, and still delivered. His toughness isn't loud, it's consistent. That resiliency is what separates starters from stars. I'm telling you right now, we already know. Shedeur was taking hits. And we're still taking hits because the offensive line trash. The offensive line trash and still trash. I'm telling you right now. Here it is right here. Data like this makes me excited for Shedeur Sanders' future in the NFL. Sacks versus pressure. Where his name at? Shedeur Sanders, right here on the right side. Y'all see my mouth? Above, right above 15%, right in between 20%. Shedeur takes bad sacks and can't handle pressure. Reality is, he is one of the best in the NFL at escaping sacks and is still producing at a high level despite a bad Browns O-line and receiving core. That's what I'm saying. You try to tell me he couldn't escape sacks, he wasn't mobile, he ain't had no strong arm, he won this, he won that, then he running 20 miles an hour, now he's escaping sacks. Like he did this in college, especially at Colorado with that bad offensive line. He was ducking under arms, getting pulled, standing up. He was doing all that. Most pressure quarterback too. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look at this. Look at the bottom line. Pressure percent faced. He the only one over 40%. Shedeur Sanders is the only quarterback over 40% pressure. Pressure percent faced. He over 40% every game. Pressure to sack ratio. But look where he at on the vertical axis. He escaping them sacks, but he the most pressured quarterback in the league. But escaping, y'all don't know what that mean. Y'all don't know what that mean. Yeah, that's crazy. That's what I'm telling you. Can I zoom in a little more? Y'all see it now? Look at that bottom horizontal line. Pressure percent faced. It's 40%. It's past 40%. That might be even 45%. We're getting pushing 45%. Then look at the vertical. Pressure to sack ratio. He only getting sacked out of 40% pressure, the most pressured quarterback in the league. He might get sacked maybe 18%. 18, 19% of the time. Meanwhile, look at compared to Geno Smith. He get pressured maybe 21%, 22% of the time, and is the most sacked quarterback. That ain't saying the Cleveland Browns offensive line is good, because we clearly see they not. We done seen the film, done watched the film, looked at the tape, watched the game. We clearly see that it's not the offensive line like Brock Purdy and Bo Nix and Caleb Williams up there. Y'all see them up there. They offensive lines are good. Shedeur doing that on his own. Doing that on his own. I don't even, so what did it do? No, it don't matter either. Jay, when you see that, send me the clip. Email me the clip right quick. Or that dude we had looked at the last time I was live. I don't even remember the dude's name. Let me see. I think this lady had it up here. This lady sharing all this stuff and ain't even getting paid. Not me. Is it this one right here? This the one we looked at, ain't it? This it?
people in that building will tell me he still doesn't know how to flip protections. He doesn't know when he's hot. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He can only throw to wide open receivers. He doesn't make tight window throws. He doesn't throw guys open.
And according to Dylan, baby mama, everybody in the building want him to be the quarterback. Damn, y'all make that shit too easy. Exhibit A. So he don't know how to flip protection? You telling me 3 grown men blocking 1 person, he don't know what he doing? Exhibit B. Since he had to get pushed around, a big grown-ass oversized man get pushed around. Exhibit C. This the passing chart. I'm this mundane-ass offense. Everything is screens and hot. Nothing down the field, 20 yards. Back to Exhibit A. He don't know how to throw anybody wide open. There's only a few quarterbacks in the league that can make this throw. Exhibit B. Between 3 defenders. That's preseason 1. We know your donut eating ass can't stand the sight of Shedeur, and it shows.
Oh, I told y'all that the last time when I played, I said, bro, they always claiming somebody in that building. I like, who in the building? They can't be telling y'all everything. They be done got fined by now. They ain't found out who's telling that all the business. They ain't figured out who told all the business yet. Let me go back, because I think they would G would respond right here.
You know, the
Make sure it was on. Okay.
about football, you know, the crazy thing about football is not done in a back room with calculators. And I respect True Media, but True Media don't draft players. True Media is a nice little asset to tell you what you want. EPA, that's a nice little stat, but when you look at it, you got to take in consideration the entire totality of football. And for so long that we've talked about this, we've boiled down the game of football to fantasy football, numbers, and whose quarterback it is. You walk around the league and watch around the league. Same people told us that Kenny Pickett was the deal. Go watch what Kenny Pickett did the other week. He threw for like 5 yards. They told us he was the best option. Keep looking. Jackson Dart, I think he threw for like 32 yards yesterday. Like maybe, you know, maybe that was earth-shattering. Go look at Cam Ward and what his numbers are. His numbers have not been great the entire year. The reality of the situation is, yeah, you can talk about EPA and you can talk about all that, but you also have to take in consideration that when you look at the people in front of them, that goes into it. The offensive line is the worst in the league statistically, and that's not even debatable. When you take a look at the receiving core, they get the least amount of separation. They don't catch the ball when it's open. And on top of that, you're missing most, if not all, any of your weapons. So when you look at it, a guy who was in the 5th round, who's already thrown for 360 yards in a game, but we disqualify that because it just wasn't what we wanted to see. But yet and still in that game, Cam Ward is the #1 overall pick. His numbers didn't look better than that. You go into this game, I just saw Josh Allen throw for 12 and 19 for 130. Like, let's keep it real. A lot of times what we be doing is, if you like the quarterback, you can find a stat to say you like him. If you don't like the quarterback, or if you do like the quarterback, you find 17 things to say. When we look at the game of football, you can't do it in a vacuum. Shedeur Sanders, the reality of it, has played this is 5th or 6th game, and in those 5th or 6th games, does he have some stuff to work on? Sure, he does have some things to work on. He's a rookie. Is he going to have some mistakes? Sure, but he's shown well enough to say that he has an opportunity to be a starting quarterback in this league.
Wow, G Wood. Jamarcus Russell level? I need to see this whole clip. Send me the link for the whole clip. Somebody real quick. Email me the link to the whole clip. The whole video. I was looking at something else. I ain't saying I wasn't looking at that, but I was watching other things, not that. Y'all brought that to my attention. So I need y'all send me the link to the whole clip. Lima, man, look, I don't even want to talk about that dude. But we're going to talk about him in a minute. But I want to show y'all this clip right here so y'all can understand what a NFL quarterback looking at. I found the Kirk Cousins clip. Now, Kirk Cousins, a vet, he been in the league. I don't know what team he gonna be on. Maybe the Browns scoop him up to be a bridge quarterback and come in to take the pressure off Dante Moore if they draft him and trade Shedeur and let Dante Moore develop behind Kirk Cousins for a year. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out some different scenarios. But Kirk Cousins right here, he explained 2 minutes of Kirk breaking down offensive strategy.
You thought this week's conversation about progression versus coverage reads and all that?
No, but I'd love to get into it.
This is, let me explain a little more so y'all can understand what he about to say, because you ain't gonna understand what the terminology he about to use. But I'm gonna tell you, he talking about what a quarterback processes before the snap and after the snap, what he looking at and what he not looking at. And what, I ain't talking about is he good or not. What I'm saying is he a vet that understands the game as far as coverages and reads.
You thought this week's conversation about progression versus coverage reads and all that?
No, but I'd love to get into it. I can get on this soapbox if you want me to. Like, I can get on this
This is what we're
because I lived the transfer. I lived the jump.
right.
So I came into the league, even at Michigan State, it was you see coverage and you pick a side and you basically take 5 eligibles down to 2, down to your check down. And so you cut the field in half, and it was, I got single high, I'm going, outside the red line to inside to my back. And you're really only thinking about 3 eligibles because the other 2 over here were meant for split safety, and I got single high. And so it kind of protected you. And then sometimes you would alert that other side if you got pressure. So you'd be like, I'm working this route versus split safety or pressure. If I get single high, no pressure, then I work the other side. So that was, everything was, single high, split safety, pressure, quarters, off, bump, man zone, all these things. But what happened was defenses got so good at disguising it that I would be so stressed going into games going, the whole game plan's built on, is it single high or split safety? And I can't see if it's single high or split safety. Like, these defenses are just making it muddy until I'm 3 steps into my drop. So coaches started to realize, like, if we ask the quarterback to do that, it's going to be really hard because defenses know that's the game we're playing. They're not going to let us play it. So then it started to become, let's just give you pure progressions and let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, that has its pros and cons. I remember when Kevin O'Connell was bringing a lot of pure progression reads back to him with me from LA back to Minnesota. It was like, whoa, like I got to get back to the dagger backside after already exhausting this progression. Like, that's a lot. I mean, in my mind, like, I'm used to kind of simplifying it and cutting the field in half. So, had to kind of work through that and get to where that was more natural. And then there's a lot of positives of it too, where you're not stressing as much during the week about what if I can't see coverage, because you say, well, it's okay, I don't have to see coverage. Seeing it can be a benefit, but it's more after the snap, where are they going, and I can just kind of progress through. But there's no doubt with the way the pass rush is, if you truly try to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to get sack fumbled a lot. So there's still a level of, yeah, it's pure progression, but like I got to rule him out pretty quick here so I can get to the backside because that guy's coming around the hump quick.
I just wanted y'all to hear that from a vet that been through both sides. Cause like, basically, I'm going to simplify it a little more. So he said in the beginning, it was you read the high safety. If you got split safety or high safety, this is where I'm looking at over to the right or to the left. Now he said, like they've been doing against Shedeur and some of these other rookie quarterbacks, they've been disguising it so much that he don't understand what the defense is doing until he 3 steps in his drop about to pass the ball. So if you're not processing quick as a quarterback, you get sack fumble. You get sack fumble every time. So debunking everything Mary Kay and all them done said. If Shedeur doing all this and getting the ball out quick, making quick decisions, he know all this already. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. But yeah, Ms. Robinson and who else, Shake, I made a video on that already. Dante Moore, you gonna tell me he gonna beat out Dylan? He ain't gonna beat out Dylan Gabriel? Now he the second quarterback off the board? Nope. I said they moving the goalpost for Dylan Gabriel too. I got the TikTok ready. I ain't uploaded it yet, but I got the TikTok ready. I need to upload it. Follow me on the Prime Effect. Where we're going. Y'all ain't email me a clip. Me and Robinson did. Appreciate you. Knew you had it. I ain't it 2 hours long. 32 more.
The best deal. And Car Gurus makes the whole process simple by giving you real information,
said
real
that,
deal
hey.
ratings, and more listings than anybody else. So
Been
hassle-free
lying the whole
buying will
time.
always be EU rip.
valid. I think it's a
Wins
think
in this game.
on the EPA number, the quarter that has reached. I asked down to guard
Numbers around where it should. You don't even have to
I-
use EP.
I called Mary Kay out. Soon as she started lying, I said she was lying. I don't know what they see him more, man. His numbers ain't even close to Dylan Gabriel. Mendoza neither. Now, like I told y'all back after the draft, I said they competing against Shedeur and don't even know they're competing against Shedeur. I hope they do good because they're gonna need to do good so they can have a good NFL career. Because they're gonna be compared, if the Browns draft a quarterback, he's gonna be always compared to Shedeur Sanders. Just like Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Dylan Gabriel, all them quarterbacks got drafted before Shedeur. Everybody gonna be compared to Shedeur. Even these quarterbacks coming out, especially if the Browns draft a quarterback. And if it's Dante Moore for Mendoza and they don't turn out to be nothing, I hope they be something because I ain't want to see nobody do bad or play bad or none of that. I ain't wishing that on nobody. But I'm telling you right now, they done did Shedeur so wrong. You can't do nothing but root for Shedeur. But at the same time, I don't want nobody else to do bad. But they gonna end up doing bad because it ain't their fault. It ain't their fault. It's just the organization that they drafted to, putting them in situations, and then the same organization what they did to Shedeur. Hey, bro, you just getting that get back. Same thing you did to him, getting back to you.
Like there are no numbers around where Shedeur shines. They're not. Yards, you can give him yards. He had the 300-yard game against Tennessee. He leads the team in passing. You can give him yards. But if you dig down in any of the metrics, there are.
What about deep ball accuracy?
There are very
That's
few
been
numbers. There are very few numbers to support that he has played well. That's just the reality of it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You can say differently. That's what the numbers say. Fourth downs, they are atrocious. They're atrocious.
Yeah.
I think I had it there somewhere.
My only concern, Jason, and I tend to lean, even though I don't know them as well, I tend to lean towards the analytics and stats like EPA being more meaningful than traditional stats.
Fourth downs, they lose 3.3 yards per play.
But Jason, here's what I don't understand.
Yes.
Is the team how much?
Hold on. Is he saying it's Shedeur fault? Because last time I checked, they tried to run a wildcat. They tried to run a tight end sneak. Not one time did Shedeur try to throw the ball except for this last game. This the first time Shedeur tried to throw the ball on fourth down was the last game when Mitt Robinson, go get your cousin and tell him he need to block.
Is the quality of the talent around you factored into that? Do you know?
As the quarterback, you're supposed to elevate the talent around you.
I know that, but there's just so much you can do. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this is
Y'all should have been sent me there. So Jared Judah ain't had his best game with Shedeur? Isaiah Bond ain't had his best game with Shedeur. Harold Fannin ain't had his best game with Shedeur. He ain't elevating his teammates. Well, y'all know, y'all should have been saying me there. Y'all know I'm about to cut a fool.
This is ridiculous.
And again, but it's not.
It's ridiculous because everybody who knows and has ever seen the game of football understands it is a team game.
Then why do people all over that building shake their head and say, no, he's not the guy?
Well, listen,
why?
There's a lot of people in that building that ain't gonna be here coming the end of the week. Like,
all right, find me people in the NFL who
that's the point. Listen, the same way that we talk about it. We can sit here and talk about this. And let me give you this about how many people in the building were saying something. When was the people in the building right? People have been writing stuff about the building all year. They told us Dylan Gabriel was the dude. They told us Flacco was the answer. They told us Kenny Pickett was the dude. And why did you trade Kenny? They've been telling y'all stuff every single day, and they ain't been right about not one of it. Can we all agree with that? They said
not a nan nutter. They been right about a nan nutter. Don't nobody say that nan nutter like you powder. Not a nan nutter. Wow. Ain't Mary Kane been right? Tony G done flipped back because he was so wrong. Tony Rizzo done seen the light. Who in that building is telling y'all this? Because they need to be fired. Because they leaking too much information. You can't tell them nothing. They like a refrigerator that can't hold water. They like that auntie you go tell. Don't tell nobody I said this. Then the whole community know. And then she done told it wrong and put her own spin on it. They need to be fired.
Hey, look. Hey, Kevin's offense is ready to go. Then he gave the playbook over 2 years in a row. So the people that y'all been telling y'all stuff, they ain't been hitting on no lottery tickets.
It's a bad football team.
There we go. You just said it. It's a bad football team, and a rookie quarterback in his fifth start cannot elevate a bad football team.
Why not?
You're going to elevate the worst line in the game?
It's a fifth round pick. I'm flipping it back. He a fifth round pick. That's why he can't elevate the line. That's why he can't elevate the team. You want to evaluate him like he a first rounder. Now, why he can't elevate it? Dylan Gabriel didn't elevate the team. You ain't say why he ain't do it. Joe Flacco ain't do it.
He holds
Kenny Pickett went long. He long enough to do it.
Ball longer than almost any. Yesterday was his best game at getting the ball out. So he did great at getting the ball out
because everything was quick.
Let's go to the PFF. Let's go. If we want to use stats, you would agree that the Browns have the worst offensive line in the league, right?
I'm not arguing that they don't have a bad line. He's had plenty of opportunities to get the ball out, and he doesn't. He has the rush coming right at him, and he doesn't get the ball.
Is that a pre-snap thing?
Part of it is
because this was again before the game. Someone told me Saturday, after they broke down a lot of his tape, that one of the areas that he thinks the Browns coaching staff needs to focus on with him is pre-snap read and making sure he picks up who's coming and who isn't. Their quote, not mine, he hasn't been good at that.
He doesn't know, and he's
Kirk Cousins just told you. That's why I played it. That's why I played it. That's why I just played it. Kirk Cousins, a vet, just told y'all that the defense disguised it so well that he ain't know what they were doing until he was 3 steps into his drop.
It's hot, is how it's been described.
That essentially was what that answer was.
He doesn't like flipping protections, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything because Flacco didn't flip protections either when he was here, but Joe knew when he was hot.
Yeah.
Shedeur hasn't figured that out.
And Joe been in the league how many years? 30?
But he knew when he was hot. He knew where it was coming from.
Here's what I'm going to say. Everybody be breaking it down. Somebody give me some KT Livingston breakdown.
Oh, I know.
I don't know the grade. He's awful.
No one is going to dispute with you that it's a good offensive line. No one's going to say that.
Is the time to throw out yet? Probably not.
No, it was out right away. He had a great time to throw yesterday. It was coming out fast for the most part. There was times where he held it, but for the most part, it was his fastest release of the season.
And you could tell. We talked about this on Friday, I believe. Reese's comments to the media during the week were very directive. I had said before the game, everything's going to be quick. Very short passes. He's not going to throw the ball downfield. Reese told us as much. Reese said, We need to work on that out of your hand, short stuff, and that's what he did.
I mean, his ADOT was less than a yard most of the game, but a lot of that was also the way that the Bills defend. That's sort of how they make you play.
Yeah.
So I'm not killing him for that. I haven't knocked him.
And I thought in that parameter, he did a good job of getting the ball out of his hand and getting it to receivers. He had a high completion percentage.
In the first half, for the most part, they stayed on schedule, in part because of the short, quick passing game.
Right.
And they were able to run the ball more effectively than they have.
He barely threw the ball in the second half. The offense didn't have the ball.
Well, they found a run game.
You had two opportunities at the end of the game to go win the game. You had two possessions at the end of the game to go win the game, and they lost 16 yards. And got to have at moments.
Here's what I'll give you with this, so we can get the overall critique. Every time I be breaking down film, I tell people, hey, in those certain circumstances, when he was running and well, first of all, Russo just destroyed, right? That's a whole nother thing. But understand this. I do think
you got to put the whole totality in the context now. I told y'all on the two most important plays, Camp, Robinson, your cousin got destroyed. He 300 pounds of nothing. I can move him. 405 over here.
That is on a quarterback that you have to have a timing, a mechanism to say, okay, here's the play. I know I ain't going to get no time on this. They may be bringing somebody, and I need to get this football off, and I can't get sacked on a fourth down. That I talked about that in the post-game show, and I talked about that multiple times in other games. There are times where I'm like, okay, let's see if you can go ahead and get to where you need to go. Give yourself an opportunity. I think when that play, Jerry Jeudy was coming open, he was kind of blanketed a little bit, but I need you to get that off to him a little bit. There's a lot of different things that I think he needs to work on. He's not a perfect prospect by any stretch of the imagination. But what I'm talking about in an evaluation is when you are evaluating a quarterback on a bad team, you have to take what you can and extrapolate and say, can I get better with this guy? Can this guy get better? Does he show me the tools and traits, whether it's his acumen throwing the football or does his team rally around him, that I could say with improvements here, and here, and a new play caller and what we want to do, can he be successful? To me, he has the basic traits to become a good starting quarterback in the league. Now, it's up to him to continue to progress. But I think it's undeniable that you've seen from the first game against the Baltimore Ravens, where he looked like he is completely lost, to where we are today, to be losing. And if they kick a field goal, that's a 23-23 game against one of the best teams in the league. That's a Super Bowl contender. I think that's progress. The question is, do the Browns think that's progress?
I think that one of the problems with this is, and this happens with young quarterbacks, sometimes you
This is the video, but I'm telling you, man, I see why y'all go to G. Bush Live. I see. He 100 for 100. He 100 for 100. It ain't all Shedeur. I told y'all the receivers got to get open. The offensive line got to block. Yes, Shedeur miss some throws sometimes. Yeah, he might be a little late, but he told y'all he be looking for the big play. Now he got to get up out of that, and I think he did that this game. And you mean to tell me that a championship defense, supposedly what the Browns have, they didn't bring them back in that game? Shedeur did, just like Tennessee. Cam Ward, it wasn't even Cam Ward. Tony Pollard was walking the ball down the field against the Browns. And Shedeur almost brought them back. Then Kevin had to lose the 49ers game because of a race for the number one pick. Come on now.
Highs and lows are very, very erratic. If there was steady progression week to week, I think I'm going to listen more to that. But last week against the Bears, he had his worst game.
Yeah, but when is there ever steady progression?
No, I know, but you'd like to see, you don't want there to be such gaps between your ceiling and your floor. You'd like there to be, even if it was mediocre play, you'd like there to be a consistency in play, and perhaps 1 week at a time, you add something to your repertoire. You learn something about protections or whatever. And so he's just been all over the 2 preseason games he played. He was joop. And then, he plays a good game in which he loses to the Titans, and then he bounces back and looks awful against the Bears. So it's tough to really, I had said at the beginning of the season, you drafted.
Everybody looked awful versus the Bears. That whole Cleveland Browns, the defense and the offense and the special team.
2 quarterbacks that you're going to look at. The problem is it's going to be very difficult to evaluate what you have. And I still think that, yes, I think a great quarterback is going to elevate the talent around him. You had said that you thought if Josh Allen was with this team, we'd be a playoff team.
Yes.
So if that's what great quarterbacks can do, they can elevate.
He's an MVP. All right. So you comparing Shedeur to the MVP. So that means Shedeur Sanders MVP caliber. I'll take it.
Elevate crap talent around them and bring them up to that level. I would expect to see some of that. What's his record win-loss in starts, Shedeur?
He's got 1 win.
1-4.
I think that's unfair to put that on him. I don't think any rookie in this situation, or most rookies in this situation,
if the Browns
would not have success, wins and losses.
If the Browns were going to
that's the problem.
If the Browns were going to be drafting 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 this year, it's a different conversation. With where they're at, I don't see how you don't take a quarterback.
And they're 3 currently, but the Raiders and Giants play
we have 25 years of history of trying to do it the hard way, and they haven't been able to do it.
Actually, to be truthful,
that's a jarring statement.
I'm gonna be honest with you. As I look at this roster, and we'll get to Quinshon Judkins here in a second. To me, even with that injury, that puts you further behind the 8 ball, because the people say, "Oh, he'll be back in time." Listen, let me just tell you about injuries. I know a couple of things about him. He got injured at the end of the year. He has to go through rehab. He has to get through everything.
Save that, because we're going to talk about Judkins.
Okay.
Real quick,
But let me finish this.
Yeah.
So you got Judkins. He's missing. So now what you're asking is, if you potentially want to go get a quarterback, you're going to get a quarterback, and the roster around the quarterback with the picks you have will be worse than the roster that people are struggling in today.
Why would it be worse?
So one of your assets that you're going to take, that you could get a lineman or receiver, will be used on a quarterback.
Right.
Quinshon Judkins, we do not know if he's going to even be ready for camp, or he's going to be able to lean on them.
Right, but you'll have 2 other picks in the top 35.
So you'll have 2 other picks in the top 35.
Yeah.
But guess what? We've done this year. We used 2 picks on quarterbacks this year, where we could have used them linemen. So now we're going to go again, get another quarterback when we can be using that as a premium position to help now.
There is no more premium position.
Let me explain something. That's not even saying Andrew Barrett lucked up with this draft. That ain't even saying that the players he picked in the draft gonna be good. Just because you draft a player don't mean he gonna be good. You got to put that in the totality. Just because a team draft a player, I don't care if he first overall, number 1 overall pick, that does not mean he gonna be good when he get to the NFL. You can have all the picks in the world, and just this year, out of 6 years, Andrew Barrett hit a home run on this draft. For as Quinshon, Dylan Sampson, Carson Schwarzenegger, Shedeur. You might not get that lucky no more, because your history, like bro said, in 25 years, you ain't got it right. 30 plus. Since 1964, you ain't, since Jim Brown retired, you ain't got it right. So, out of 1 year, you gonna tell me you gonna strike gold again in the draft? That don't mean the players you draft gonna be good. Mason Grant, your top 5 pick, he been all right. But they don't even talk about him. This man went in on third on run guaranteed run downs. He went in the game. James Cook running all through the defense. Mason Graham went out there. Ain't nobody talking about that. So you having 2 first-round picks, of 2 fifth-round picks, a 6th and a 7th. You mean to tell me you ain't got no pick in the 2nd round, 3rd round, or the 4th round? And your 5th, your first 2 picks gonna be superstars, and then you gonna find people with these 2 5th, 6th, and a 7th that gonna contribute to the team? I ain't talking about when they drafted and they contribute to the team like this rookie class has. You gonna strike gold twice, 2 years in a row after you done been here 6 and ain't never had it right. I can't believe it.
Position than quarterback, and you can't equate taking a quarterback in the 3rd and the 5th round to taking a quarterback 2 overall. There's no reason you can't take a quarterback and address the other needs if you don't need to bundle those other picks to move up because you're already going to be.
You're not going to fill every need in one off season,
of course,
but
not.
You weren't going to do that anyway, even if you drafted a wide receiver.
It's a different. That's why I said if you're at 8, 9, 10, 11, and you have to bundle all of these picks to move up, to take a
that's a
quarterback,
no-brainer. You don't.
But
do
when
it.
you're already there and you can still keep the other assets to address the other needs that we all agree on are there.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer to me. They have to take a quarterback. If you're at 1 or 2, you have to.
I
take
feel
a
more and
quarterback.
more like they will.
I just don't see it that way. I keep seeing you to go back.
Find out.
You know what's interesting is Shedeur Sanders has a lot to say about it. Go out and beat Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. You're not drafting a quarterback then because you can't, because you're not 3rd in the order anymore.
Right.
Then you do have to have the conversation of, is it worth bundling these assets?
Right.
And if you believe in those quarterbacks, by
Then
the
you
way,
do it.
the answer is yes.
But if you don't believe,
how is it just on Shedeur? How is it just on Shedeur when the defense spotting teams 14 points? Kevin Stefanski lost 2 games by himself. As the coach, he lost 2 games. How is it just on Shedeur? Shedeur brought y'all back in 2 of them games. And it was keeping it close until Kevin happened against the 49ers. How is it just only Shedeur? Then, what quarterback is you going to draft? What quarterback, I don't care what college team they own. What have they shown me to make them say he better than this guy? He better than got that guy. I don't care about him winning the Heisman. I don't care what team he on. They undefeated. Because clearly it's a team sport. Because don't now one of them quarterbacks play defense. Now, if Colorado defense was like any one of their defenses, Colorado would have been in the college football playoff. So don't tell me it's the quarterback. It don't make no sense now. You telling me these quarterbacks good because they team undefeated when it's a team sport. But if you put the same defense on Colorado with Shedeur and Travis Hunter, you mean to tell me that ain't a Big 12 champion? Mendoza came from Cal, didn't win nothing, came to Indiana, 1 year win the Heisman, then he the 1st overall pick. Dante Moore couldn't even beat out Dylan Gabriel, then he the 2nd overall pick. Both of these quarterbacks that won nothing last year, now all of a sudden they better than Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, I said it. Dylan Gabriel too. I told y'all that don't make no sense. I told y'all that don't make no sense. You gonna tell me they gonna trade up to draft Shedeur? That don't make no sense. I told you they be forced to draft him. Shedeur's supposed to went undrafted, man. But the NFL collusion couldn't have that because it would have been obvious. It would have been too obvious. Tim, I already did it. I got a video already out. I did that already. Dante Moore ain't even better than Dylan Gabriel. So you gonna tell me he better than Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel? And gonna be the second overall pick? He ain't even better than Cam Ward. Let alone Shedeur. He ain't even better than Jackson Dart. Mendoza ain't neither. Ain't now one of these quarterbacks better than any of the quarterbacks they got drafted last year. None. None. And you telling me last year 25 was a weak quarterback class, but now you only got two. You only got two quarterbacks that you paying attention to. So who really got a weak quarterback class to have Mendoza and Dante Moore is the only two quarterbacks that can get drafted in the first round? Yeah, I heard Dylan was hurt. They're going to be my whole life right here.
Either of those.
If you're not sure.
If you're not sure, you definitely don't reach.
Now we're
don't
having
reach.
the same conversations that we had last year.
Yeah.
When you had the second pick and a one quarterback.
I think it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be obviously a topic of conversation.
We almost have to root for Baltimore on Saturday
to win.
So
Pittsburgh
has to play their starters.
I'm so
the game
you're
is
saying
meaningful.
you want the Browns to lose.
I am so sick of
at this point, yeah.
But
at this point,
that's what I was gonna say. I'm
what
so
does a win
sick
do for
of
you?
watching draft orders in December rather than playoff standings.
Listen,
I'm so tired of it.
I am too. I mean, it's been my whole life.
And if you keep resetting it and you keep resetting it and you don't get no pieces and parts, and we run around here talk about quarterback every single year, we have to address the things we need to get done up front and receivers and playmakers, or you're going to have another person.
You can still address those things.
But here's what I'm saying. You do agree we are not naive to understand that the best talent is at the top of the draft.
Right.
Of course.
And that's usually
and you know what?
The
Browns had a terrific offensive line with Joe Thomas and Joel Bitonio and Alex Mack if he was here. Whatever.
A great running back.
Wyatt Teller. What did it get them? Because they didn't have the quarterback.
Let's do this. Want to do grades, Ant, and then move on? Is that what you said?
I want to go around and get everybody's final grades on this performance for Shedeur before we move on.
Bull, you want to start?
B minus.
Yeah.
C minus.
B minus.
C minus as well. I think the thing that, I think it was playing within structure. He played the game plan that they asked him to play, which is a little bit restrictive.
Yeah. Usually it takes at least 2 years.
It usually does. Usually that first year back is just kind of
says about 4 to 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless.
All right, so as long as it's not a tear in his knee, he should be ready for the start of the season.
Yeah. Now, the other question, obviously, that needs to be asked, and again, the ACL is more serious because you're not the player moving forward that you were.
Right.
Some players have regained that prowess. Yeah. Others never did.
But usually it takes at least 2 years.
It usually does. Usually that first year back is just kind of getting your bearings and getting back playing in the NFL at ESPN. He has become
yeah, that's what I was looking for. It's some good stuff though. There's some good stuff though. Hold on, give me a second. That ain't the full clip. That ain't the full clip. I was trying to see what it said on the ticker at the bottom. I want to get to that part. I forgot who had it. Who Twitter I was on when I seen it. Yeah, he play calling horrible. That's why he gave the play calling up 2 years in a row.
Nobody else would have watched the game. Shedeur Sanders, well, he's on a nice list. for finally giving us a reason to watch the Browns game in December. Yeah. Nobody else would have watched the game.
No, it's tough to tune in on.
Yeah,
the Browns
nobody's
in
ever
December.
tuned in for the Browns. Shedeur Sanders, well, he.
Oh man, I ain't gonna be able to find it. I'm telling you, man, I ain't about to be on too much longer. I already done been on longer than y'all got me into that.
Right, as you know, it was Zach kind of did it as a walk-off at the end of his podcast, which sometimes he does. And I heard him mention that there was a very odd situation in the Shedeur press conference after the game on Sunday. And nobody else had really talked about this. And then the afternoon show did like 10 minutes on it yesterday. So I had asked you, had you heard this? Because we had a lot of stuff going on Sunday. So I could understand if maybe you didn't hear every last second of every press conference. But I want you to listen to this, and then I'll explain what I heard on the afternoon show, and then we could talk about this, because this was a little bizarre for a post-game press conference.
So Shedeur, man, from HBCU to Power 5 now to the NFL, right? What has been the most helpful time during this NFL process? What has been most helpful to you during that process?
One second. Late to the party, you know. You guys are questioning again.
That was the first question to the quarterback after an actual NFL football game. When
I didn't even think anything of it. I'm sorry.
Well, did you hear that?
I heard in the post game, but do we play the quarterback live?
We might have edited it out.
No. I don't think anything was edited.
Okay.
I just didn't. I don't know if I heard it live. Like Kevin's always
confirm
live.
if he's live or not, because the order of operations has changed over the years. From back when I did post game show, it was always very quickly in there, and then we got into a point where, especially when players started to get a little looser with their language, we had to make.
I'm getting more and more convinced that the other skin folks is the devil. I'm not the R word, I'm not the P word, and I'm not the B word. Racial terminologies, if y'all understand what I'm saying. But stuff like this and some other things that's going on in the world keep trying to convince me that the other skin folk is the devil. And what had gone on in the history of this country and what goes on against on a regular, I'm getting convinced. Because now you up here asking why is a black reporter asking about an HBCU, and that rubs you the wrong way.
Sure
right.
that we were
the delay.
covered,
Yeah, you're right. I bet it's recorded just in case anybody cusses, because a coach usually doesn't cuss.
Right.
But players can get emotional and they might cuss.
And sometimes the official sites, and this isn't just a Cleveland Browns thing, they'll all edit press conferences to just get down to the not sure what happened here. But when I heard that on the afternoon show, I'm like, who's that reporter? I haven't heard that reporter all year. And then I reached out to some people, and they're like, no, he is that's new. Some of the veteran reporters here were like, we have no idea who that was. And then it's an odd question to kick off a Shedeur press conference.
That is a weird question to start a post-game.
Yeah, that's more. There's nothing wrong with that question as far as, hey, a reporter might be doing a feature on Shedeur and his HBCU roots. That's awesome. But that's a midweek thing. That's not the game just ended. We need your thoughts on what happened. We need your thoughts on down and distance situations, the 4th and 2, what you were seeing, your ability to take off and run. Like that HBCU question
what
almost
happened to your pinky?
Right, yeah, the pinky, that's pretty.
See what I'm saying? Didn't he say Colorado too? The man asking the question about Shedeur's career leading up to the NFL, from Jackson State to Colorado to now. It wasn't just about the HBCU, but that's what you want to focus on. If they making stuff up, then they want to blame Bucky.
Important did it impact your throw? We're getting some weird HBCU question that could have been asked at any point, or he's probably addressed along the way.
Benefit of the doubt, maybe this guy's only in town for Sunday.
Maybe.
But that's not a first question. That's a minute 8 of the press conference question.
That's a, hey, I'm going to go up to the PR staff and say, hey, I'm doing this story.
I want to make sure I get it in.
Can you make sure?
But when you get them one-on-one, though, when you try to get a hallway one-on-one?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. After game's a little different, though. You know?
And
if you're only in town for the day.
And some of these guys
That's an odd question.
They limit their one-on-one accessibility, because I've heard that some.
It's just, you just lost to Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to know about that.
Yeah, Shedeur don't limit no one-on-one availability. They was at his locker when he was the 4th string. Get out of here.
This game that happened 18
Yeah,
minutes
what'd you
ago.
say to Josh Allen? Or what'd he say to you after the game when you guys embraced? All of that is.
They were blaming Bucky for a reason why he said, hold on, wait, ask your question again, because Bucky wasn't in there to record. So when Shedeur said, hold on a second, you late, and then he said, ask your question again, is because Bucky had came late, and then they're going to go on and say that that's his media company, talking about Shedeur's media company, which we know is Bucky's media company, but Shedeur is part of it. That's the whole point of Bucky being there, to capture Shedeur Sanders' career and content. That is his main content. Shedeur, Coach Prime, Shiloh, the whole Colorado, and the whole family. That's his content. He got to be in there.
Far more pertinent than a question about the HBCU, which could have been asked at any time. And it's not like Shedeur does.
Well, I think the question was more about his journey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it? It wasn't just about the HBCU.
It was
just about his
starting
journey.
there and then making it to Colorado, then now being in the NFL. Just the steps.
There's just 1,000
It
other
was an odd question.
places.
He did
It was an odd
eventually
question.
answer it.
Yeah.
If you want to hear the answer,
You go ahead.
Yeah.
For me, because a lot of different perspectives. It's a lot of different viewpoints and different aspects of life, and I feel like everything you got to go through, everything, every moment you got to live through. And each of those are building blocks to help you throughout whatever situation you're in and help you be thankful also.
Well, has somebody taken over for Tom Withers as the question leader? Like he was we made the Helen. We used to make the Helen Thomas reference because Helen Thomas always got the first question.
They worry about who asked the first question. Ain't it supposed to be Buddy over here? He the oldest. He's supposed to ask the first question. Who cares?
For years and years and years. And then there's like, well, Tom always gets the first question. Is there somebody who always gets the first question?
No, I don't know
there's
for the
nobody who
players. I don't know if it's different from the coach to the players.
Some reporters have been like, I'm going to let somebody else ask. If
to the younger guys that are on the beat, it'd be like you've been around for up there. Ask that question.
Because something else happened, and this is what Zach Jackson had alluded to. And I was like, did it really happen like this? So if you could play the question again.
So Shedeur, man, from HBCU to Power 5 now to the NFL, right? What has been the most helpful time during this NFL process? What has been most helpful to you during that process?
One second. Late to the party, You guys are questioning again.
It's so obviously I reached out to some people that were there, and I said, what happened? Why was he telling them to wait? And it was because his brother and whoever else is a part of his film crew, they were not actually videotaping yet. They weren't ready. And that's what he was referencing there.
So you're saying maybe this was more for a well-off media production.
It was 100% for their media.
Well, why couldn't they ask it at another? Why couldn't they just ask him aside?
Because they needed him at the podium, I'm guessing, for whatever show they're doing or for whatever
Why
access.
couldn't they just done that on Wednesday?
I don't know. That is kind of bizarre. That is definitely not how things work in the NFL.
See what I'm saying? if you watch Well Off Media, you'll know why he need to be in there. Because that's his content. They don't want to miss nothing. It's part of the content, bruh. If you knew anything about what Bucky doing, he ain't gonna be there Wednesday the record a presser before the game. It don't mean nothing. After the game, it means something. I got one more. Then I'm off.
I had a bunch of people in my life asking, do you think that was a plant? Was that a question that they had already choreographed? And that kind of is what it sounded to me. I don't know what you guys think. I'm obviously just speculating. I don't know for sure. But for him to have to wait, like their other film crews, the affiliates are all getting the video.
Well,
Daryl Ryder's getting the video.
But if you're the one who's doing the press, I will say, if you're the one doing the
why
press
did he
conference,
have to wait?
So is it? Wait a minute. Is it his media company?
Yes, that's what I was
Okay,
told.
so if I were him, I would wait on my media company to come in there, and then I would be very upset that my media company wasn't in there on time.
Maybe he is. At the same time,
If it were my business.
Imagine everybody else. They're like, we've been waiting for Shedeur. We wanted to hear about the game, and we're getting some puff piece question that could have been asked at any other time.
And Ken, you'll never have this, but your brother will never be the guy running your media company for you, right? Because you're an only child.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different when it's, whatever, junior producer you've hired to come in and do this for you, and it's your family who you've had come in and do this for you. If they don't hit their mark in time when the question's asked, then how do you give your answer correctly and then also be upset
I don't
with
know
them?
how I'm supposed
to be eating dinner together on Thursday.
I'm done. Cause they get ridiculous, man. It get ridiculous. You can't find nothing better to talk about with their man family. Everything a spectacle.
Feel a commitment from the Browns about next year and you being the starter?
I think I have to do my part. Get some wins. I think I have to do my part and play clean football. And the rest isn't in my hands. I don't own the organization, so I can't promise anything will happen. I'm not God. I can't dictate what's going to happen each and every day, each and every minute, so you just got to enjoy what you do have. You got to enjoy the present. You can't look too deep into the future because then you'll miss the blessings and the lessons that you learned from the now.
Do you still not feel a commitment?
That's why I was telling y'all about being stuck in the past. Being stuck in the past. He can't control that. Shedeur can't control if he's going to be on the team next year or is he going to be the starter next year. He can't control none of that. So why he focused on that? I need to be focused on what I can do right now. I'm worried about something that ain't even happened yet. Well, that's what a lot of y'all do. Worry about something that ain't even happened yet. Be so negative and so stuck on what ain't happened, and it ain't even happened yet. It might not never happen. But you so stuck on that negative, what possibility that could, that you ain't even focused on trying to fix and get better what's going on right now. Man, I'm telling you, man. Some of y'all got to change y'all mindset, man. I'm working on mine still, but I done got to the point to where I ain't with that foolery. I'm so lazy and focused on what I'm trying to do. I ain't waiting on nobody, man. I ain't waiting on nothing. If it's mine, I'm going to get it. But I appreciate y'all for coming. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share it to your friend about that money, man. You already know. And if you wasn't here, I know I ain't gonna lie. Yesterday I was thinking about it, but then it got late. Then I went to sleep, and I said, "Merry Christmas to everybody." But y'all ain't hear me when I said it, so I'll say it right now. Merry Christmas, Merry belated Christmas, however you say it. And we'll be back. Definitely gonna do a New Year's. bring in 2026 with a bang, with money, man. And then, like I said, if y'all feel like y'all didn't give me a gift and just grace me with y'all presence, and y'all feel like y'all missing out, or you didn't give somebody a gift and you feel like it's just a hole in your pocket or a hole somewhere missing, like you just forgetting something, and you probably is, you done forgot money, man, and ain't give him a gift. And he accept cash checks, mail-in orders, and Cash App Zelles. He do it all. So Cash App down there, Savage AF 21. If you feel like you ain't get nobody a present and you need to give somebody a present, I can be the guy you get one to. Cash only, please. Savage AF 21 at the bottom. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friends. Your auntie, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your great-great-grandmama, your great-great-granddaddy, your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy, your great-great-great-great-great-grandmama. In the heaven, the angels, the demons, the devil, all of them welcome. As long as they hit that like button, Money Man gonna give them a show. But I'm trying to go to heaven on the good graces of God's shoulders. And then the ones up there, they can tune in too. Tell all of them, your loved ones that done passed on, they can tune in to Money Man too. And then we'll give them a show and a good laugh and some vibes and everything. Appreciate y'all.
Sky be crystal bliss. Gifts wrapped tight, can't wait for this. Joy in the air, feel the holy kiss. God's love spreading wide, can't miss. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Blessings came true.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Love for me and you.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Hearts renewed.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Here's what we do.
Jesus in the manger, story old as time. Spreading love and hope, truly divine. Holy Spirit whispers, faith sublime. Gospel in rhythm, hearts aligned. Lights all twinkling, joy in the choir. Souls all lifting, take me higher. Gifts from above, never expire. God love bright, eternal fire. Merry, Merry Christmas.
Blessings came true.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Love for me and you.
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Hearts renewed.
It's Merry, Merry Christmas.
It's what we do.
Soul food cooking, smell the delight. Family gathered, feel so right. Hug tight, never out of sight. Love overflowing, pure and bright.